If you're considering a standing desk, I could not love mine more. However, they are not the most attractive looking of desks. So if you're looking for a standing desk but want something a bit less industrial looking, you've come to the right video. I'm going to show you the best standing desk on the market and how I customise it and created a beautiful vintage desk. Let's get started. Hi everyone and welcome to this new video where I'm going to show you how I customise this standing desk. I've just bought it. I will pop a link in the description box. It was really affordable. I do have another one, 2.5 times the price. This was fantastic. I think I'll put my code in the description box for 10% off and free delivery. So this was around £120, fully electric. It's got 2 charging ports. You can set it to 3 different heights. I've got a whole video how I review it and see what it looks like, but also there's a link. It's really good. I bought this one because it's slightly smaller in the leg, the frame is less chunky, and what I want to do, because I've just completed this Pax hack, is I want to make it look more built in and disguise the fact it's a standing desk. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be using something from IKEA called the Method. So I'm going to get all the bits I've got and I'll show you what I'm going to use. But before we go any further, do hit that subscribe button. I do loads of weekly DIY, IKEA and product reviews on my channel. So do hit the subscribe so you don't miss that. So let's get on with the video. What I'm using is something called the Method. This is from the IKEA kitchen collection. I think it's the cheapest brand that they do. So I bought one which was 20 by 60 by 80. And that's for the left hand side. I bought a 30 centimetre by 80 by 60. On the right hand side, you do have all these gubbins and all the buttons and stuff, so you need it slightly wider. So that's what I've gone for. So I'm going to do the easy side first. So I will build, well, I'm going to get it out of the box. I'm not going to build it because there is going to have to be some cutting involved to be able to fit it round. So let me get it out and let's see what you actually get in the box. I've unpacked it. It's all fairly simple, and what I'm going to do, which I've just done on the other one, is I've measured the height I need. Now this is 80 centimetres in height, which is too high. It needs to be 70 centimetres high. So I've worked out which is the top, which is this. It has got these little screws, so what I'm going to do, trim it down 10 centimetres, and then I'll make some little holes and I'll put that screw slightly lower. That's the bottom, this is the top. So I'm going to cut it down with my saw across there, 10 centimetres to make it 70. Okay, I've done some measuring. And you can see here, I've got a line drawn down here. I've got to trim this down. So this is going to be my top. I'm trimming it down to 70 centimetres. And then I've worked out a little piece I need to cut out, and that fits around the left-hand leg. And it allows for all the twisting bits and everything. So that's where I'm going to cut down first. And then I will hopefully just cut this down on my cutter. I'm going to get this right before I attempt this, because this will be slightly different because we've got all of this to deal with. So let's get cutting. Okay, I've done lots of chiselling out and things, and I've got them in. So what I've done is I measured the height, which was 70 centimetres. Obviously this may adjust to whatever desk you've got, but if you're using this one, it was 70 centimetres to here. Now this piece under here is where it twiddles around and goes up and down. Now the lowest this will go to is 72. Doesn't go any lower, so that means it won't, because I know some of them have a sensor that will stop them going any lower, but this one won't go any lower than 72. So that's the height that I've cut them. I have left a gap. I've mucked around with these for about an hour and I'm pretty happy with them. This one is a little bit wonky, it's got to go straight, but what I've done is use the 20 there, 30 there, because on this side you've got lots more of the stuff. It has got a sensor, so if it touches it, it will go up. So it had to be that wide. The 20 just wasn't going to work. So I've done that. And then I've taken the feet off, the little stabiliser things, to make it a little bit lower. Now I cut the wood, it's going to be like that because I'm going to secure it at the back so it's nice and straight. 70 centimetres on this one. And I've let it sit on here because I think that'll keep this a little more solid. And the lowest this will go is 72. So there is a slight gap, but it's deliberate because I'm going to put I think I'm going to put something on the top maybe. So I've left a bit of a gap. So I've literally just cut out here with my multi-tool. Cut out here. Not the neatest, but it's quite tricky. I had to gouge out the back there. Obviously not going to see any of that. The pine, and that must have been there 1950s, so that's been there 75 years. It was a pain to get off. Probably took me about half an hour to get it off. But anyway, I got it off so I could push that back a little bit. and I've cut all that out. So I still want to get access to all those plugs and stuff. So I made sure I cut great big bits so I can get in. You have to adapt it to whatever you've got behind, because I didn't want this was sticking out a little bit too much. It was sticking out. As you can see there, now it's underneath the top, but it wasn't. So that's where we are at the moment. From this side, there is a slight gap here. So I need to work out what I think I'm going to do. Is I think I'm going to secure it all, and then I'm going to make some sort of frame around it. But I'm going to go and have a cold drink and have a think, but this is where we are. So I'm quite happy with the width here. If I'd used 230s, it would have not quite worked here. So I've got that as far that way and that as far that way as it will go. And I think that it's working, so it's going up at the moment. So you will see in here, but what I could do is some of that really thin stuff, name escapes me, I could put around here to sort of make that a little bit neater. So these are going to have fronts on and stuff, but that's as it is up. So I have it 95 standing, and then it's on the lowest setting for being low. So it's going to go all the way down like that. There we go. Right, let me have a think about what I'm going to do. Okay, I have laid it all out. I've just been to B&Q and got back. I bought a strip of wood. I guessed the width, but it's perfect. So I've screwed that in to hold it to this. So this is all fixed in. So that's all fixed now. And then I put a piece of wood here to get this straight, because it was trying to go going like that a little bit. So I've screwed that to the wall because that will be hidden. So that's nice and straight. And then I've got these in the right area. And then here, because I've also built the 500 next to it, so it's fitting perfectly, I put a little bit of wood here on the edge, so it holds it all nice and straight. So what I'm going to do, this is nice and level here, but this side is going to have IKEA doors, which are 18mm deep. So it's slightly set back. I'd like to say that was deliberate, but it wasn't. However, so this door will stick out a little bit. So here I have put some wood to sort of secure it all in. So I'll put some MDF there. And then the fronts here, I want to keep them really flush. And I thought, I don't know what I'm going to use. So what I'm going to use is the back of this Pax that I have not used, because you can actually walk through there, and that's going to be a big storage thing behind. So to decorate this, you can obviously use whatever you like. Depends really where you're building it and the depths you've got and what's next to it. You could put MDF, you could buy the doors, which I did, which I'm going to take back to the shop. On the front, I'm going to just put basically a sheet over the front, add the detail, and then it'll be done. You can, if you want, because obviously you can have access to it by this lifting up. So it doesn't matter that I'm securing this flat, because if I need to get in, I can lift it right up and get right to the back where there's a plug socket. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use the back of the IKEA that I haven't used, so really, really thin. And I'm literally just going to, on the top, so obviously if you haven't got a Pax you haven't built, you can just use some thin MDF just to put on the front, or if you wanted to, you could put the doors that come with it. It really depends. I've obviously had to add bits of wood at the side, so it would look a bit odd. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to do that right now. It all stuck on. Quite pleased with that. I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to do about an hour, so it's on pretty solid, and then I think I'm going to get on the trim. Yeah, but I'm using the same trim. This trim, if you've watched this video, is actually picture rail, so it's a lot cheaper than the stuff you buy, you know, in the slots. You know, the small stuff is quite chunky. It's really wonky there, but it's not. So I'm going to use that on there. So I'll let it dry, and then I'll start working out how I'm going to do the design. I'm going to be going on holiday, so I'm going to leave it for about 10 days. So it's all done. I'll have a bit of a tidy up and I'll leave it, because I can't decide what to do. I've got all the trim, but I think I'll leave it until I decide. I'll see a picture on Instagram that will inspire me. So I'm going to leave it. So I'll see you in 10 days time. Okay, I've worked out what I'm going to do. I've been agonising about this now. That is literally oil vegetable oil, it's nothing horrible that's splattered up against it. But I'm going to not mirror this because I kind of think this is different. So you can see where I've put some lines. I've literally used this piece, which is the bottom of a Pax, along the bottom and the top, but I've made it slightly thinner at the sides because it looked a little bit, and it's quite thick, so I've kind of made it thinner there. Piece left, hopefully that's enough. If not, I'll be nipping down B&Q. Now the other side is slightly wider, so I'll adjust it for that, but I'm going to get this bit on first. Let's see what that looks like. I've also bought 4 bits of this. I'll insert some footage. This is dado rail. It's much cheaper than because it's really chunky, than buying the stuff that's in the moulding section. But you do have to get them all out because they're mostly like boomerangs. Never do click and collect, go and physically check them yourself. So I've got 4 straight ones. So I've got some to put on the doors as well. So I've got them, and I'm actually going to put some detail around here as well because I think otherwise it's going to look a little bit plain. I thought that's pretty easy to do, and I've got my edging strips to put on there. So I'm going to crack on, and I'm going to get all this stuck on, and we'll see what it looks like. It's on, stuck on. I've just also cut down. I didn't press record on the camera on this corner strip, so I've done it so when the skirting board, it'll fit just above like that. I thought that was the sensible thing to do, so it'll be a nice little tuck on there, which I'm kind of going to do in a minute, I think. I'm going to use the skirting board I have and get that bit all looking nice, but that's it on there. So I think that's the right decision. We'll see. Once I've painted it, I think that'll look the correct thing to do. So what I'm going to do now, let that dry, then I will do a bit of filling, and then I cut them identically. There's still a little bit. Doing it with a hacksaw, you do get these tiny little gaps, I find. But anyway, I'll fill those and you won't notice it. So I'm going to do the same on this side, adjust it a little bit using my thing on the bottom, and then I'll do the same width there, so that will look slightly wider, but that's fine, and then we'll start doing that. So I'm going to get on with doing all of that, but yeah, I quite like that. Okay, there we go, all stuck on, and I even put across the top here these bits to make it, so zooming in, these bits to make it look a bit more fitted, neat. Not sure what words I'm using at the moment, but there we go. So what I've done is I have reserved, I'm not going to be able to use this. This is what I have in the main house, but it's from Todd Stores, and you have to go to Todd Stores, and there's a minimum order and delivery and etc, etc. So I've done click and collect at B&Q and bought a couple of lengths just to do this, the desk area really, because I won't attach that until I've worked out, you know, all the doory bits. So I've done that, and it's nearly £11 a piece, so 22 quid, done click and collect, and I'm going to go and get those now. But these are all dry. I've corked and filled, and I'm leaving that to dry. Done the edge here, and I haven't quite, I'm going to find another piece to go up there to do that edge bit. I'm also going to try and get a piece of wood just to go on the edge of the desk. But that's it. So I'm off to B&Q, so I'll see you when I'm back. I'm back from B&Q, and I raced ahead because I wanted to see. So I've actually bought some skirting board because the one I have in the rest of the house, or the downstairs, I haven't got enough, and it's a faff. So anyway, so I bought this. It was £11. It's a lot shorter, but I had some of this wooden strip, so I stuck it on the top because I think £11 is really good. So I bought 2 bits of that. So I put one on there. We will worry about that end bit when I come to take that off. And I put it down there. So I have to think about what I'm going to put at the back. That's just an old scrap. So I'm not going to actually do that back bit at the moment. But what I am going to do is I'm going to put some skirting across here and here. Leave that back bit for now, because I'll need to put whatever I'm putting up here there. But that's where I am at the moment. So I'm going to fit the bit of skirting here. I'm not going to show how to fit skirting because I am terrible at it. I really am. All you have to do is cut those at 45-degree angles, but I'm not a professional. I cobble it together and I always have to put a bit of filler on the end and I'm rubbish. So I'm not going to show that, but I'm going to pop it across there and get it done. Then I'm going to get a little bit of primer on it. So I'm now going to give it a prime. I have attached that bit there, but I'm not going to attach the front bit because I want to fit first. So that's attached. I've also run out of this strip wood. I need to go back to B&Q. But the paint I'm going to use, this is the primer and undercoat, the home base one in white. And I'm going to give it a bit of a coat and leave that to dry overnight. And in the morning, I'll give it another coat of paint. So I'm going to get on with that right now. Morning, it's nice and dry, the primer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give it its first coat. We'll see how many it takes, probably 2 I would have thought. I use this, which I've used upstairs and on the Pax I've already built. It's from, I bought this from Home Base. It's Crown and Crafted, and this is the colour Best China. It just gives a really nice matte finish, easy to go on. It's sort of chalk paint, but not chalk paint, I think. You can use it on walls and wood, so I do like it. So that's what I'm going to use because I have it. I've still got 2/3 of a tin. So that's what I'm going to do, get a bit of paint on. So I think once the paint's on, I'm done. I did originally think about changing the top, but I'm not going to at the moment. I don't think it needs changing. I think maybe putting like an oak bit on the top. I think I'm going to leave it as it is. I don't think it needs anything, and maybe I could add that at a later date, but let me get this paint on and then I will show you the finished result. I'm using a brush, I should just say. I like to use a brush on this sort of size of project. It was a bigger project, probably use a mini roller, but I just think it's easy to get in all the little bits and all the corners with a little brush. So let's get on with it. Okay, here is the semi-finished desk. I haven't put the back on yet, and we've still got the little bit there that I'm not going to put on because I want to make sure I do it correctly down there, but there it is. So that gives you an idea of how you can easily hide it. And you preset these to the height you want. So this is preset to the height that I like. So I've just put that sheet, you can see, hanging at the back, just to give me an idea of the feel. And I do like the fact the light still comes through, so that's why I'm going to put a little window there, but that sits straight up. So looking down, this one I could put the plate on, which came with it, and you can see I can still get in there. I can read in and do the plug and stuff, so that's good. So that's why I fixed this front. Could even hide things down there, I suppose. And then this side, I'm going to just tidy up this little bin, get a little sander out, make that smooth, but that's that one. Loads of access to get in. I'm going to get the hoover in there and get that little bit of dust out. So that is how it looks. Now, I'm going to leave it like that, but you could, if you wanted to, this stuff, this thin stuff at the back of the packs, maybe put a couple of strips, which I might do across there, white strips to make it look a bit more enclosed, but when I've got the desk up, no one's really going to be in here. So to go down, the good thing with this is it's set, it doesn't go low in a certain point, so it can't keep going and crush it because of the way the legs work on this model. I'll pop a link in the description box. If my code still works, I'll put all the information in there and you can try. It did work at the point of uploading this video. Now, I didn't put anything on the top. I might still add a different top, I don't know. But as it is, that's the top. I'm glad I went for 30 and 20. 230s would have made this a little bit narrow, but there's a nice width here. So I'm happy with that. So there it is. So that's sort of finished-ish. I think I might give another coat of paint. When I put these doors and customise them, I'm just going to whiz around here and give it another coat. It's had 3, but I think I'm just going to give it another quick coat. So It's looking all right. Definitely see how different the white top looks. That looks quite creamy. So we'll see how long that annoys me for, because I will be obviously painting or cladding or doing something to this side, because you can see IKEA white. Well, I know there's a reflection coming off that, but it's not really white. There is this sort of tinge to it. So there we are. So that's that part. Now the next bit I'm going to get on with, I am going to do the back, and I'm going to decide how I'm going to build this, and I'm going to build a little window, block it in, probably add some lighting. Really lighten this bit up before I start doing the secret door and customising all that. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you see the next part of this build. Thank you very much for watching. Hope it was helpful. I'll link everything in the description box, and I shall see you on the next video.